my chest hurts. Well, welcome back. As I'm sure you already know, I don't even know what I'm doing. So I was supposed to film yesterday, but a bunch of stuff came up. Big surprise. I had this video planned and I was gonna make it a little more thorough, but it's too hard. So I'm just gonna jump into it and try and keep this short. I'm just gonna briefly talk about what I've learned about motherhood this far. I'm going to focus on 3 points. They are selflessness, patience, and mindfulness. So the first point I'm going to focus on is selflessness. What I mean by that is basically when you have a child, that child becomes your priority and it's no longer just you that you're taking care of. It's like physically, when you're pregnant, however you take care of yourself is how you're directly taking care of your baby. So it kind of starts there. You also have to let go of all the things that you thought you wanted and the experience that you wanted to have, because you don't really dictate the experience you're gonna have. Selflessness is kind of like the process of letting go of that and then just enjoying what you're given. So for me, the first step of that was I had to let go of the pregnancy that I wanted, because my pregnancy was awful. Basically my whole pregnancy I was bedridden. First trimester was sickness, second trimester I was undergoing surgeries, and third trimester I was like in preterm labor like the whole time. I obviously gained a lot of weight, way more than I wanted to. My body got very weak and I just turned into like a big blob. You know, you imagine dressing all cute and showing off your bump and going to brunch with your friends, and I didn't have any friends and I didn't have any money, so that never happened. Another thing is birth. That's a big thing too, and this is something that I kind of want to like encourage all mothers to be, is I know that we all have a dream of what we want our pregnancy to be like and our birth to be like. My point is that it is very important to not let that be a priority, and to have the priority be getting the baby out safely and keeping you intact in the process. I just knew from the beginning she was going to be born early. Don't ask me why. I don't know, mother's intuition. I just knew that she was going to be born early. With that in mind, it was impossible for me to have that like lovely, powerful experience that I had, you know, dreamed of. But I think that's kind of the beauty of it too, and that's what I mean by selflessness. Giving up what it is that you wanted to experience and giving in to the experience that you are given. Whether it's really hard or really easy or all natural or a C-section, it's individual to you and your child, and I think that's something to embrace because you go through it together. The reality is you both have very little control over what experience you're gonna have, so I think it's important for your mental health and your well-being and the well-being of your baby to just embrace it. Embrace whatever you're given and focus on just the well-being and health and safety of your baby. She's just kind of swinging over there. I was gonna hold her for this, but there's that saying, don't ever wake a sleeping baby, and I find that very true, because when she wakes up it's like impossible to get her to go back to sleep. So if she's sleeping, I'm leaving her. Oh, another thing on the subject of selflessness and giving up things you dreamed about in regards to motherhood is, for me, breastfeeding just didn't happen. I'm sure I'll make an entire video based on that. To summarize, it's something I wanted. I think a lot of women want that experience and they want to be successful in that, and it's very hard to let go of something like that. But it wasn't what was right for my daughter, and it was making her unhappy, and it was actually preventing her from gaining weight. Again, I'll go into that later, but I had to let go, and that was very, very difficult for me. So again, it taught me selflessness because I had to put her needs above my dream experience of what it was going to be like to be a mother. Okay, second point being patience. And this is kind of obvious. I think anybody who has children or wants to have children or has been around children, you have to have patience. There is no way around that. But again, it starts at the beginning. It starts with pregnancy and it never ends. I've always told people, you know, with my name being Promise, my parents thought about naming me Patience. If they had named me Patience, it would be very ironic because I am not a patient person. Motherhood has challenged me on that, and it's something I'm very thankful for because I do think patience is a very important attribute to have. Babies don't care about your schedule, and sometimes that means that you spend 10 times the amount of time on one activity or project than you would prior to having a baby. You don't have the time. You gotta be okay with that. That's part of the patience. Another thing is, like, in a more direct sense, say you're taking care of the baby and the baby is crying and you're having a really hard time figuring out what they need. Be patient. Can't freak out every time she cries. Okay, so I kind of talked about this like a little bit. It is very important to give yourself grace and to be patient with yourself. It's more than just being patient with your child. I have had to learn that the hard way, especially someone who already has like clinical anxiety like I do, and it can get really overwhelming sometimes when I feel like I'm not doing the right things or I'm not doing enough. I'm very hard on myself. Sometimes it spirals and I get really depressed because of it, and so I've had to learn how to be patient with myself, even in regards to like weight loss. And I know that this is across the board with women who have babies. Losing the baby weight is really difficult. Countless people, you know, tell you when you're pregnant or before you get pregnant. Uh-oh. Hi, honey. Oh, I know. Okay, I got the baby now. I forgot what I was saying. Oh, weight loss, losing baby weight. I'm 3 months in, and even though I feel like I have lost quite a bit, I'm still very impatient with myself. Having a baby is very draining. It's a lot, and it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing, and I'm more than willing to give every ounce of my everything to being her mother, but you do have to be patient with yourself. And I think that's probably one of the most important things that I've learned in regards to taking care of myself as a mother. And the third thing that I want to talk about is mindfulness. In regards to what I'm talking about, mindfulness means enjoying every moment. I specifically think about, when I'm talking about mindfulness, I specifically think about nighttime feedings. I don't want to say like it hurts. It does physically hurt, like you're so tired. It physically hurts. It's hard to stay awake and it's hard to enjoy those moments because you're just exhausted. But I think that above all times is the most important time to be mindful. There's something so serene and just magical about the nighttime and just being alone with her and just sharing those quiet moments. They only do that for so long. I just find that very, very special, and to take something that is difficult and tiring and turning it into something precious, because I swear they grow so fast. Obviously there are a million other things I could talk about. Oh, really? Oh, sweet girl. I feel like that covers my 3 points. I'm going to try to post every week. I will try and post every Tuesday. That is the goal, but it's probably not going to happen every Tuesday, and I have accepted that. Alright, well that's it for this video. Thank you so much for sitting there and listening to me babble. Tune back in next week for another video about I don't know yet. Alright, thanks, bye!